following is a presentation of MRE Uno, Division 1. We're back in action, but it's a little bit different type of vibe. You think both players would have a little bit of sense of what's about to come in terms of the wow factor. Let's start it off with the world champ Ashley. May have not got the best result in the last time we actually saw her playing in the finale, but a nice 3-week break after a DQ win over H due to some scheduling conflicts has got her back recharged, ready to go. She controls the Spider region, but will she be Spider Woman come the end of this match? And for Seth, what a game that was against Retro. That game 7, green wild, red wild, green wild, red wild, power play, green wild. Everything you wanted in a game 7. Absolute magic, absolute cinema. He takes care of business and gets his first win of the 2025 season. He's been helping a lot in the booth, but tonight it's a little bit different. He gets back into his office and clears all that issues aside to just focus on the game. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Ashley vs. Seth, the champ versus the Stepback. Red Wild, Green Wild, it's going to be a show, as we always do it here on Automotive April, Round 2, Tire 32. Let's get to that schedule today, and we only have one stream today. Surprisingly, it's only one stream, and this is it. Ashley Seth, Spider Region. Winner gets that. We'll talk about it in a second. Then probably the biggest guy in terms of trying to make a statement tonight is going to be Lane Sayer. After a very weird game against Eric Monaco, he'll kick it off against Logan for the first doubleheader of non-streams in the Mustang region. At 8 o'clock, winner will get Myth on that one. And then Jag region, 8:30, the final game, Carson Andy, the 4-5, the old classic duel. And they'll play at 8:30. Right about half hour, we'll go to the double split watch party on that one. Winner gets myself or Albion. Albion and myself play tomorrow night, of course. And we'll go into the pod real quick. And as I said, Ed Ziemba took care of business against Radden yesterday in a crazy 4-1. It was a lot more just Edward taking dominant victory, more control, and just had a way to seize the moment compared to, let's say, Radden, who's just a little bit off kilter. Ashley Seth right here. As I said, Red vs. Green Wild. Going to be a good battle here. Should be a good one, a fun one in the Spider region. And we'll go to our scene right here. Kind of a nice light scene today. Don't mind that here at 5 o'clock on the East Coast. Got my man Vapor, 2 players in the old scene. We'll start it off with the man moving on to his 5th or 6th now, S16, the Sport Mode 16. Vape, good to have you in the booth, man. Obviously, you were in this round. You took care of business against your old fellow friend Tago, but this is a little bit different match. These players, they've never played each other. We know what Ashley can do, right? She's been one of the best players in the league since she started here, going for win number hundo. Just needs one more win to get that. We'll talk about that little ceremony when we get to that. And then Seth had that, whatever that was against Retro, where the game 7 where we saw 4 wild cards in a row to execute a big fortuitous win there. He needed it. What are we expecting here today, though? Both players, in a sense, they have their iron, I guess, iron sharpening iron, Seth always likes to say. Ashley with a little bit more of a brace. Seth, great win. And in terms of the thrillers of Game 7, what are we expecting here on the table? Go for it.
I think really you got 2 stories here. Ashley's one of the best players in the league, and Seth has tested himself in Game 7 so far this tournament. So you've got experience as the best player in the league versus experience in composure moments this tournament so far, and we'll see how those 2 items stack up against each other when it comes to composure on the table and keeping your head when something doesn't go your way.
We'll go over to the 2 players. We'll begin with Seth here. I'm going to give you the first word, Seth. Obviously, I want to talk about that crazy Game 7 with Retro. What did you learn in that first win of the year? And 2, thoughts on playing the world champion? Obviously, I know you made that comment, iron sharpening iron, when you played me. Is this another similar story, maybe, in a sense? You're going to try to sharpen your iron here against another top-tier flight player?
Exactly the same thing. You hit the nail right on the head. As far as what happened there with that game with Retro, I said it in my finishing quote as well. It was one of those games where if you were on the winning side, great. If you were on the losing side, there was nothing to be ashamed of. It was one of those ones you were kind of almost willing to lose with just how competitive it was. And the finish at the end, I mean, you couldn't script it. But I'm gonna, gonna have to say that the way that I approached that game with Retro is gonna be kind of the similar way that I'm gonna approach this game here with Ashley. Certainly, as a former world champ, can't take her lightly or anything, but having the opportunity to be able to be up in the commentators' back box, kind of observe what some of the best in the business do in terms of strategy, I think has in a way had me adapt what I used to have in previous tournaments, and I applied it in that game with Retro. I'll try and apply it here tonight. Biggest thing I think though is just don't make mistakes, because we've seen, especially here in this round of 32, if as long as you don't make mistakes and get a little bit of luck, you've got a good chance of moving on. But you make a pivotal mistake, and that could be a momentum changer.
Thank you, Seth. Appreciate those words. We'll go to the champ. Champ, obviously, let's kind of put everything aside from the finale, right? That was a unique one-off format in the sense of, okay, it's one of those scenarios where the rules kind of got to you. But now you've had a couple weeks off. Cool to always get a nice win, even though it was more of a freebie win with the scheduling just not working out. Do you think you just needed that mental reset? I know you got a lot going on, but did you need that mental reset to just take a couple weeks away, right? Get your mind fresh, get yourself in a more cleaner headspace, and come back on table looking for big things now. Obviously, one away from a hundo and one away from 20 series wins. Feel free to type it out for sure. And what we did, I'll go back to Vapor, and I think Vapor. If you look at both of these players on paper, we know they both have the wild cards. Wild saves are going to be aplenty. But I think it really comes down to, as Seth said, just how do you limit your mistakes and how do you try to play a good style against Ashley? She's one of the best of the game. Do you think he's learned enough? And he makes a good point, having been on the booth so many times where he's got the download on everybody.
I mean, yeah, I don't take Seth as the sort of careless person to not, not learn from his mistakes. And I think any mistakes that he made in the retro game will not be repeated today. So even though that retro game went 7, it wasn't a very game that Seth should have won by any means. So I'm not saying he's on house money here, but the mistakes that he made there are not going to be repeated today.
Thank you, Vapor. Appreciate that. Short's our referee today. Unfortunately, we had some issues with Caesar. He couldn't make the game, and Short's done a great job to step in. Appreciate him doing his thing here. So we'll get to it. As Ashley says, I guess Uno is usually my mental break from life, but it's also nice to take a little break from Uno too. What was that? Oh. We'll see how it continues. I appreciate that. A little peep emoji there. Sure, appreciate that, my friend. But all right, let's get to it. Let's go to game 1. Ashley, I've been here so many times on the stream. You're the only player in Elite history yet to start 23 for 23 on the streams. Let's begin. 13 cards. Let's see how it goes. Here we go. Here comes Short. Going to go with Vapor. Going to be my co-com right here. Loading it up. We'll see how this one goes. Let's have some fun. Says Short. Let's do it. Winner gets Ed, as I said. Well, I'll give that one to Vapor. How about that, money? How about that, buddy? Popping bottles?
That's me starting. That should be a good sign. Should be a good game.
I believe the kids say based.
Yeah, I think so.
Right.
But Vapor, we don't say that. We say popping bottles in the ice.
Getting freaking slizzard today. Hopefully this game slizzers us up or whatever, and hopefully it'll be exciting.
That's funny, man. It's always fun when you get to start the game on your own car.
Oh yeah.
Now, we'll see. So it puts the good luck in there. We'll see how this one goes. And Vapor early switched it. I mean, you know about that thing. You know a thing or two about switching.
Yeah, setting the tone early, saying, well, I want control of this game. I want to get to my colors. You shouldn't be able to get to yours. Immediately setting the tone for how this series might. Oh, and as I say that.
Okay, new color there.
Switch right out of it.
And that 666 right there. Just one more to go if we want the old Skittles to start. That'd be something. But we'll switch action. Keep it clean. We'll go from Vapor himself to Steven to M. And Ashley will just roll into that. Well, and that's the thing, right, Vapor, with the switching. You think about the switching, it can either be a sign of things to come, or it could be a sign of just trying to get the opponent off kilter. Let's see how that... Well... Okay, Seth going crazy with the switching now. Ashley rolls into it. See what he's got right here. Seth looking to load in here. Taking his time. Seth really taking his time here, Vapor. Really loading up some. What do we got here? Could be thinking this one through. We have seen pace management. Like I said, Seth has seen every look and every game under the sun now, especially those fast games, especially 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock games, usually an afternoon warrior. Sure.
Oh, yeah. So, like, he's seeing games that other guys really aren't seeing. Yep. Triple.
There's the old three.
And, I mean, now you look at it, he hasn't gone a possession where he hasn't switched the color. So, maybe that's something that he's really trying to highlight today is switching the cards, getting to his colors.
Ashley will just play it nice and cool. Seth going aggressive here. But let me look at this. First turn. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, absolutely right. 3 for 3 on the switches. You're right. Good observation. But it'll ditto here.
Ditto.
Yeah, I think Seth, he's playing this one a little bit more, as we go into the blue here, a little bit more aggressive on the switching, something that maybe he's learned a little bit from the games he's watched. Sure, you want to say something? Go ahead.
I can pop this point about Seth, about what you're saying about him learning from the booth, and I learned a lot from the booth as well. I mean, I've probably watched more D1 Uno games than I played games in my career, so it's definitely a factor. It's just a question of whether that works for or against your advantage, because on the one hand you've seen a lot of these looks and may be able to employ them yourself, but you could also see all these looks and may try and it may not work out. So, but I mean, it's all about the opponent you're facing as well. So, but you definitely learn a lot. It almost feels like you're a scout team running these when you're a player as well in the league, as well as being a stream host or a commentator, ref, whatever.
Vapor, go for it.
Yeah, Seth with another switch there, and as someone who does play that light switching meta, it's you sometimes can ice yourself or run into pitfalls yourself with how much you're switching. And like Short said, it's using it to or against for your advantage or not. It could go very poorly. You could ice yourself, run into an opponent's run or whatever. So it's gonna be how can Seth condition the switching as he ices Ashley out.
Well, that's it. The switching, really, you want to be careful and know when to play the switching and go back to it when you have to. That's back to blue now. Well, there you go, Vapor. You kind of teed that one up right there.
Yeah. We're kind of getting to the point in the game where, guys can actually ice each other out. Because Seth is down to 2 here.
Seth looking for a possible finish here. Pretty plan A for the most part. There's really nothing else to say.
He was in blue earlier, switched it back out, back into blue. I wouldn't be surprised if Seth had the finisher here.
Oh, yeah, he's got it for sure here.
Okay.
Blue +2. Unless he's just going to draw by... Yeah, no way. He's got it.
It was 2-color the whole way for Seth, pretty much.
Yeah, I'm going to have to assume Seth... I mean, looking at this game... Oh, yeah, 100%. Not a single drawback. There you go, Vapor. You're right. Yeah, I'm going to assume nothing really to say. That was just perfect plan A. Nothing else I got.
From Ashley, too, though. So...
And like as I said, Ashley back into blue. It's like you can switch. Maybe you ice them, but maybe you fall right into their trap.
Yeah, I don't got much on that, Seth. I mean, the only thing I say was that's just part of the strategy. Maybe low ammo, right? Because you only had that reverse skip met, maybe a little bit more reverse skip met on the +2. Was that a case of just maybe just run the switches a little bit more cleaner and go from there? That's really all I got. I don't really have much
Well,
to
like I
say.
said, I've been trying to learn from what I've observed in the booth, and I've seen a lot of people be able to utilize the color swaps to their advantage. To Vapor's point, though, there were two areas where I could have possibly boxed myself in, and Ashley kind of bailed me out with color swaps that helped me be able to continue the run. Otherwise, we probably would have been into a bit of a draw city when she was drawing on the yellow. I probably would have had to done the same if hadn't had that swap over to the blue to get the finish. So. Just testing the waters. It doesn't make sense to me from a spectator point of view how people are able to utilize the color swap all the time and it works out for them. This time I just tried to apply it here myself and it did work out. Don't know if I'll continue to use that or not, but at least 1-for-1 in attempting it here in game 1.
Okay, a little bit of trial and error. Champ, I'm going to have to assume... I'm going to assume no action cards, just pretty much had to let Seth control the switching. Yeah, okay. Well, that's the thing, right, Vapor? At a certain point when you don't have much to work with, you kind of have to roll into the switch and hope something would break in, maybe the one top decker, but when it's just 0-1, the card's self-drawn, Seth hasn't drawn a card, not much you can really analyze other than just say that's just one of those games, right? That's all I got.
I mean, not ammo heavy, really just numbers, number efficiency, not really even number efficiency, just getting where you need to be, getting a little bit lucky on switch back into blue, stuff like that. And that's really all there was. Yeah.
All right, that's all I got. Well, we'll go to game 2. I don't got much to add, Champ. Your call again, free board. I think we know where we're going here, though. What we got? Yeah, we'll go 12 now. Short puts it in. 12-packer to put it in. There we go. Put it in there. We'll see if we get it. This would be something if we get a double Vapor. Let's see. Here we go. Let's find out what we got on the starter. Okay, we'll go to Pier, but that'd be cool. That would have been cool to get a double Vapor for sure, but yeah, we got.
Yeah. Well, 12, still, high tier. That's kind of where Ashley likes to live. And that's really where you get more of those numbers. It's less luck ammo based. It's more, how can I run my ammo? How can I run my numbers in these higher tier games? And, game 1, perfect example, ran the numbers, used the ammo well. Will we see a repeat of that here in game 2?
No, I mean, you heard Seth say he doesn't usually like the switching going berserk, so I'm interested to see if he tries that strategy for the next 2 games, or is he just going to play it one more calmer? I don't know. That's an interesting comment. I guess the only thing we could take out of that game 1 is he did say he doesn't understand a lot of the light switching strats, but he tried it there as an experiment. So that's probably the one thing I'll look into as we develop in this series for sure. Here comes Seth. Let's see. Yeah, he plays it cooler. Go ahead. Go ahead, Vapor. That was an interesting comment, though, for sure.
This is the longest stretch we've had this series in one color so far. I mean, five straight reds. Definitely refreshing to see from the chaos that was last game. And this is what happens when you run the reds. You or a single color, you ice yourself out and draw city early.
Well, I mean, it's what you said, right? It was the longest in one color, and that's maybe a sign of okay, nothing cooking there. So we'll draw back, and there we go. Ashley with the lead, of course, with the possession.
Mm-hmm. And Seth switches that.
Just a little topper. And Ashley will just draw back. Let's see if Seth wants to run it now. Let's see.
Yeah,
interesting. He will
yeah.
go blue. Okay. You go ahead, Vapor.
I was just gonna say, try to give himself, a little bit of breathing room. I mean, we're still early, but always nice to have a couple possessions lead.
Yeah, we'll go into the retro here, and I think the scoreboard always has something to say. It's definitely a tall tale sign sometimes. The scoreboard as we'll go into another switch there, and Seth making more of a break here, similar to what he did in game 1 a little bit. Starting to get a little high on that in the Camaro. Champ goes one up, so playing it cool.
Seth still that one possession lead.
Yeah, one possession lead for Seth. I think as we go into the one in the Brock there, I think that's really what's going to be the key now is how does Ashley respond to really just Seth with the light switching and trying some things? That's what we always talk about in this league, man. It's about adapting on the fly. Just because you lose one game, you got to know how to adapt and play cooler.
Yeah, certainly. It's like Seth has control of this game so far, had control of the last game, had control of this game. When does Ashley break and start using the ammo? Like, at what point do you say, okay, it's panic mode. I have to get back into the driver's seat here and take control of this series?
We'll go to a yellow 6. As we'll go to the yellow 7 at 1 up. And you talked about it, Vapor. I just was thinking that color where we stay on it 5 times in red. Well, similar story here in yellow. Staying on it for a little bit. And there's the switch. So, yeah, so we're starting to see a trend, right? Staying on one color, right? And then using a calculated break over, and then you're going back. So it's got a meta going to it for sure. It's been very. I guess if we had to call a game here, we call it more of this more cleaner, calmer meta. I would say so far, pretty calculated, not much action.
Yeah, low ammo so far. Neither player's thrown anything so far. So really,
Right.
The question comes to mind: what are they holding, and when do they start using it?
Right. And that's always the she'll draw here. That's always the breaker. Sometimes you got to figure out that.
There's a little Peter stop think for a second there. Do I draw? Do I play? What do I do in this situation? Seth's gonna run.
Actually, switch it over. Yeah. So back to the blue. That's where Seth was a little bit off kilter. See what he's got here. Seth taking his time now, looking to load up.
I mean, down to 5, you're in, start on 12 and a little bit of draw city. You're in run territory, down to 2, down to 1.
Yeah, we call it the red zone area. Here comes a double play. Looks for a triple to finish it off. Seth looking to get the triple. Or does he go for more? Let's find out.
For a long time. Is this game?
We'll see. I mean, it's either going to be game or if you're going to go double play, it won't be. Then it'll be just get the check. Oh, no, I just get 100%. Has to be, right? There's no way he leaves that open.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, what did I say? We're down to 5. This
oh,
is the
my
point.
goodness.
You could have finished it.
Yeah. That's pretty much all I can think of draw city on now. I'll have to assist. Seth.
Well, I mean,
you go for Vapor.
For the second game in a row, Ashley kills herself on the switch. Switches into blue, and that's exactly what Seth needs to get. I mean, not even. He could have finished a turn earlier, but...
Yeah, the +4. I don't think...
No, because he had the green, so he would have had the +4 into blue. But yeah, Ashley kills herself on the switch again. And
let me see. Green 4.
Seth sweeps the away, which...
Now... No, actually, I don't think that blue, because you think about it, let's say she keeps it green, he's got the +4. It wouldn't have mattered. Because then you can just go blue, yellow. For sure.
Right.
Yeah, it wouldn't have mattered. The switch doesn't matter there. Because the +4 flex makes it look, oh no, right, but when you flex on a +4, you could have always just done the +4 in any color, so.
Well, no, he couldn't have finished a turn earlier, but yeah, the game was over either way.
Yeah, I mean, Seth, once again, pretty much just connect the dot. All I can ask here is, draw city, did you maybe pick up something you didn't have off the start where it alleviated your hand a little more?
First card I drew was the wild +4, so that pretty much helped to be able to have the whole run there. To Vapor's point, though, I got a little bit lucky. I don't know if Ashley had anything she was holding on to ammo-wise in the green, and she was just drawing to try maybe get a little bit more. I got lucky with the fact that she had to draw in the green, because I had 2 greens. I had to get rid of 1. I have to admit I did consider power play to maybe be able to get to the second green, but fortunately was able to utilize both of them and just was left then to be able to run in the blue to the yellow to the wild. The wild +4 was the link that connected it all together, though.
Power play, green 7, green 3, around there.
Yeah, it would have been the power play onto the green 3, and then run the same thing that I just ran there at the end.
Okay, then green. Okay, I got you. Okay, I appreciate it. I mean, champ. All I could really think here was just trying something with nothing. I mean, I don't really have much. You just drew it back and did a little switching early, but is that a case you just didn't have much and just I mean, that's it, Vape. We saw this a little bit crazily enough with what game was it? Might have been. Nah, your game was different because Tygo had ammo in game two. I think this one is very similar to what we saw in. That's crazy. Trying to think. Maybe Sanford. I wasn't there. Maybe Sanford a little bit in game 1 and 3. But it's
I
similar
wasn't
to
there
that
for
game
that.
where you just don't have much to work with, and as she says, if you don't get any, then what are you supposed to do? You gotta try to make it up the deficit on the switching. It's hard
Yeah.
though, especially when it's been a pretty powerful in terms of you look at the stats and Seth's direction right now in terms of everything except for maybe switching. They're both switching about the same. That's about it.
Yeah, you look at time switch color, 5-7 in favor of Seth, but two of those switches have been, have given Seth the game for Ashley. So I think 5-7 kind of paints a picture of how this series has gone. Seth is really taking control of the colors and kind of ran this game to his will. And it helps for his case that Ashley hasn't had anything. But yeah, I think switching playing a big part in the outcomes of these games so far.
All right, we'll keep it rolling. Seth, we'll keep it going, man. You get the home call now. Everything's free, but 12 and 13. What do we got?
Go 7.
I'll go classic. All right, short puts it in. See if that changes the momentum. We'll find out. We saw in the next series it could change. We'll see. Stranger things have happened here, Vapor. You never know what 7 is. Oh my. Well, Girard +2.
And I mean, Seth swept the away stand, getting the wins on Ashley's card start. So really looking to take true control of this series now, and going lower is kind of a sign that, hey, I want to get Ashley off her base and, change the tides a little bit.
Well, we'll keep it going on the yellow too. Now Seth looking to move as he'll go into a draw now, so he kind of a classic play right there, Vapor. Right,
Yeah,
just draw
double
it
into
out.
a draw.
Yeah, just it's 7 cards. It can go either way. Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Just wanted to make this point, because we know how good Ashley can be. This is the first time she's been down 0-2 since September 14th in Space September, and it was against Ypez in the regional semifinal. So it's been a long time since she's been in this spot.
She did win that series too, 5-4.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. That's the thing. But she's been up even in the finale, losing 7-3. She won the first 3 games in March.
Yeah, I mean,
it's crazy.
Well, I mean that's just how great she's been over the last, call it 13 months, 14 months. Really, her whole career has been just star-studded. It's been amazing to see. We'll go back to the game here though, Vapor, as we continue to run, like you said, a longer color here in the blue. I mean, Champ's looking for a hundo, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, it's crazy to think she just got here and you don't even have 100 wins. She's already surpassed you. It's insane. But
That's like being efficient and prolific in one season. That efficient and that prolific in one season plus one tournament. Never seen before. I don't think we'll ever see a hot start like that again to a career.
no. And
Insanity.
I know we played a different era too, but if we had played maybe the 64-man era back then, maybe we could have had a little better comparison. But there's nothing to really compare off to. This was just a unicorn start for sure.
Oh, for sure. The
back
rookie
to-
season to last a lifetime.
Oh yeah, that will go down as a Hall of Fame season, no doubt. As we're going to red now, I was just gonna say though, a lot of draw city, and that's what happens usually on this 5 to 8 upper tier, where it's just you can only get certain things to work for you. So you wonder when that draw city can actually alleviate into something good. As both decide to break out with Seth with the switching again.
Yeah, that's a good note to make on 5 to 8, the low tier. If you don't have the ammo to win early, I think it's smart to draw. Yeah, I think it's a good idea to draw early if you don't have the win in 2 or 3 turns.
Well, you know that better than anybody else because you played this 5 to 6, 7. I mean, you did against Tago. I mean, Tago was there's Vapor's card G6. Tago was that one good example.
Yeah, and throwing it all the way back to 2023 when I spammed the 6 against Sanford, it's like I was getting the ammo, like, and it's what Captain does. It's how Captain plays the game. He switches and he gets the ammo. He's the luckiest player in the league when it comes to those starts. And this game just hasn't been. Oh my goodness!
Here comes Seth looking for a classic green switch into a 4. See what he's got here in the back end.
That same green 4 that he had last game. Right before the finish. What's this going to be? 4-bagger for the win?
Well, I don't know. Seth's not a guy to usually do 4-card change, so we'll see if he splits this up. We'll see.
I mean, when you're presented that opportunity, you take it.
Yeah, well, think about it. There's not much you really can do other than a call out, so he's just going to take his time here. Yeah, there you go. Well, that is almost a carbon copy.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. That is a carbon copy, except for it's basically blue. That is. I've never seen a game where one player hasn't even played a single action cards.
Yeah.
She's
getting hosed.
This is crazy, man. We know Seth. I don't know what to say, man. Lady luck on your side today. There's no question, really. That was just classic pick a 7, used the power play, and we haven't seen something like this in a long time. I think the last time we saw this was, I guess that you get anything draw city at all, or just nothing.
No, just numbers. I haven't held on to a wild +4 that long in quite a while. I guarantee you, this is about 10% skill, 90% luck with what's been going on here with the cards I've been able to get.
Yeah, I don't got nothing for this one, Vapor. I've never seen a series like this where we're 3 games in, someone's played 0 on everything. I got no words. Thanks, Seth. Appreciate that. I'm trying to come up with a question here, but man, I can understand if you're just not getting action card, you have to try the light switch, right? And see if you can cook something, but if you got nothing, what do you do, right? I don't really got much to say.
Cards played to cards drawn. Seth 41 cards played, 9 cards drawn. Ashley 25 cards played, 25 cards drawn, and she hasn't gotten. She's had 2 power cards to 25 cards played.
Mind you, 13 of that 25 is from draws thrown at her, but from Seth. But like that's even 12 to 9 on the self draw as well. Like half of the 25 just about has been
every
stuck.
card that full strong.
Yeah, we have not seen a series like this since. I think it had to be Ashley Ghost last year, almost a year ago. That's the last where Ghost, but that was different though. Ghost was just crazy. He was finishing in 30 seconds. That was at least these games are a slightly bit longer, but it's still not much to say. That's probably the last time I've seen something like that. It's crazy to say. I got nothing, Vapor. This is like the first time in a long time I don't have any words. I've never seen. It's been a minute since we've seen something like this. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, all I can say is, if anything's been a hosing so far, this round, the round of 32, it's this.
Maybe Sanford's game, but like I said, even
then, Sanford got a win there.
Yeah. No, he didn't.
No, he didn't. He was swept.
He didn't. Oh, he got swept. Oh, shoot!
Yeah,
I thought it was 4-1.
Yeah, this is probably like this is where this kind of game is where the stats really bear it out. Like you don't see it maybe as much in others, but this like having nothing played, and she's even saying outright that she hasn't had anything in her hand, and the only ones she's gotten were off the back of a finish from Seth. So it's on that night it was me and Sting. Sting said the same thing. Is that sometimes Uno is a luck based Uno's a luck based game, and sometimes the luck of the hands can take over, and that seems to be what's going down here for the world champ tonight.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing with 5 to 8 too. You can't really do much on that. It's 5 to 8. We've seen this movie before. Well, Seth, 1 game away, buddy. No power play. That's the only thing I guess you don't have moving forward. What are we gonna have here? No 7, 12, 13, buddy.
Going 5.
Oh man, this is he's just going for the no cent, gonna gamble at home. Yeah, Vapor.
This is me. 13, 12, game 1 and 2. That's what Tago chose for me. I chose 6-5, and the next 2 he's choosing 7-5. I think Seth thinks he's me.
Well, this
and
is
a free choice. This could be deadly.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, no power play first turn, but dude, this is
could be very
this
deadly.
is crazy. Okay, nothing. That's.
It's over, ladies and gentlemen.
I don't blame him for saying that.
I mean, you when the bots played more action cards than you, yeah.
That's hilarious.
I mean, it's true. I think if the bot had a wild, a +2 off the starter. So yeah.
I mean, it's true. 2 power cards, actually 0. Feels weird to say.
It's crazy to think like that, but yeah. I mean, that's why you do well in March, though. You got the buffer, though. That's the only good thing. It's the only good thing because everyone's been eating each other alive. Go ahead, sir.
I was just saying, Seth's typing forever here. Double the check.
Already the check. I mean, let's see what Ashley will have. Nothing.
Is this the dagger?
No.
Oh.
No, I think you think we're there. You think Seth probably just said, "Let me just use all my cards up, and that will do it for that." You know,
little toasty strap, play close to Uno.
Yeah, I was gonna say toaster strap. You expect that on 5 cards too. You expect that on 5 to play a little bit more toaster,
a little more aggressive.
Toaster got cooked on against Monkey, surprisingly. That was a rematch, though. Well, you look at this game now in 5 Vapor, I mean, this is what you said. If you don't have it in 2 or 3 turns, let's go to Draw City. And there we go. To the queue. There's Draw City.
Yep. Draw Fiesta out here. Who's going to blink first?
Looking at this game, you would think,
as Heat Checkar would say, we're in a good old-fashioned staring match. Who will blink first?
Yeah,
math. Yeah, I mean, in this situation, you haven't played a power card all game. You're trying to play percentages here. You're saying, well, you know, the law of averages says I've got to get something this game, and
there we go. Kinda.
How this series been going? There's not really much to say about the law of averages.
I don't even think law of average. I mean, there's the old Murphy's law. There's the old something's going to break my way, but it's hard because when you get into this hole where you're down 3-0, sure you got the power play, but you haven't played a single action card. The only thing you can realistically do, and if you still don't have it, is what she's doing, right? Try to light switch and break something the other way. It's the only thing you can try.
Haven't had a single action card, hasn't played a single action card, and hasn't had a single action card, at least to our knowledge.
I mean, as she said, the only action card she's seen is stuff she couldn't even use. So
yeah, it was stuff off the back of a finish. She hasn't had anything usable.
Yeah.
There's Vapor's D6. Yes, sir. There we go. Popping. It's the first time in a long time, guys. I'm at a loss for words. I'm not gonna lie. It's been a minute. We'll see though. Seth's gonna leave it open, so we have the old running through the door moment. We saw that with Peter yesterday.
Yeah, Yepes coming in with the great nugget of the fact that not only like that I mentioned the 0-2 hole earlier, but because of playing in a best of 13 finale and getting thumped, she has lost 10 straight games.
I mean,
including these 3 tonight.
I'm gonna have to say though, I think 9 out of 10 of those have been
out of reverse. Yeah.
luck. I mean, it has to be luck at this point. There's nothing else you can say. You can try, but the good news is, with it still being 2-color blue and green, you can still get away with Draw City Vapor. It's the only thing. You can still get away with that, which is nice.
Yeah, but the second it breaks and goes to red or yellow,
then it's
just
game
a
on,
mad
yeah.
dash to the finish. Still nothing, I'm guessing.
This is
the frustration is.
Well, there's the yellow. Crazy. Like I said, it's been a second.
Statistically, exactly.
No. I mean, you have every right to say it, right? It's just been statistically, it's to be what now? 20 minutes in, not to see a single action card that is something. I'm not gonna lie.
It's a statistical anomaly, as some would say.
Or over 20 minutes. Nah, we know you ain't goofing. I get it. I definitely get it. We haven't seen something like this in this era of this bot ever. Or maybe no, we shouldn't say that because Tago Carson was the other game. That's right. I think Tago's probably the one guy. Probably knows.
Tago has the curse of the brooms. He either gets swept terribly or dishes out terrible sweeps. There's no in between.
It really isn't. Back to yellow goes to champ. So Seth, he'll draw here. Right now, word of the day is what do we? There is no word of the day, monkey. Word of
the day is.
I looked.
Goose,
I just pulled the stats again for that to Pierce Sanford, and it was.
That's fine.
Even Sanford had action cards. He had lots of.
He had
them. He had them across the board. He just. And even he was stuck on the self draw. He was iced a lot by Tapir, and Tapir's wanted to go for the draw city, and he was able to pull those ice plays out. He was behind by 7 on the self draws.
I think we're ignoring that this game so far. Ashley has played these numbers like a beast, keeping this game 1 possession, 2 possession this whole game while not having any ammo cards. I mean, Seth into green here. With how this series has gone, he might end this game right here, right now. But
I mean, this would be just.
Ashley's done as well as she could have.
God.
Yeah, back in the yellow.
It's a little breakout. The yellow, yeah.
There's a spark.
No,
classic.
I did a class. That's all you can do. You have to rely on alternative ways to win when you're not getting a single card. That's the only shot, right? It's ISO City. It's the one thing you have in your back.
I'm calling it right now. If Ashley can survive this game, their series will go 6 or 7. If she can somehow win this right here,
oh man,
it's not over.
Wow.
You got to play really trickly with it. I'll tell you right now. You got to really know that line between switching and going back and forth.
It's got to be flipped on its head if that.
We listen. We'll see. Power play too. That's true. Yep, that's right. You got the power play.
And is it
the first
hallelujah? No, I was just gonna say this is no indication that the bot is broken either. It's just things like this happen sometimes. We haven't seen it on this bot in the time we've had it, but it doesn't mean that the entire system's broken. It still does way better than the previous system that we replaced it with.
And Ashley might be iced on this green here unless she has a switch out.
I mean,
and that's not good because we know this is what Seth wants.
Seth wants.
I say that's not good. I'm not a biased commentator, but it would really suck to see a sweep here. For how good this game.
Oh, I don't think, and no one wants to see a sweep like this.
Hold the phone.
Oh my god!
There's something.
Luck is alive. There's something.
You got to use something, right? You got to at least put something on the board.
Kitchen sink is out.
I mean, what does Seth have in return now? It's a little spark. Just a little bit. It's like trying to start a fire. It's a good analogy, though. It is really trying to start a fire on a really windy day. It's kind of how It's kind of how this game has gone. It's just really windy, and you can't engulf it, really.
What does Seth have? Double +2, something. Switch out of blue.
Just go back to green.
Oh.
It's going to red. Okay.
Oh.
Ashley for the win.
Oh! On her own card!
Hey, mind you, first regular wild of the series.
What? That is that is insane.
Championship play.
I mean, that's one way to. I mean, I guess I gotta ask. We all know it was Draw City. Was that a case of just a little bit? Maybe Seth went to gamble because Seth didn't have much here in the blue +2s, and yeah. I mean, how did you get out of that? Was that a case just the number efficiency working a little more cleaner? Talk to me through how you navigated that one, champ, with basically nothing till maybe the Draw Cities. Seth, I mean, fair play. You went to the 5. You had the double +2. But was it a case of just maybe ran out of steam at the end there, where you couldn't find a little bit more on the efficiency on numbers? It just didn't work. And I'm sure you can accept that because that was not a good starting hand for sure.
No, not at all. Yeah, definitely accept that. It was just a case of trying. I think she and I both were 2-color hand there, and it was opposite colors, so we were just back and forth icing each other out. I just couldn't seem to be able to get the number efficiency on my side to be able to draw it over to the colors that I needed. Just a little of unlucky on the draw in this case, but hey, I've had 3 straight games where I've been lucky on the draw, so I can't complain about losing one here. Yeah, I mean, I thought I'd try something different, go with the lower card start.
Yeah.
4 of the 5 cards were good. That one card though was just like, no. I'm gonna just sit here and let you build up cards around me. So, yeah, we'll see how it goes from here. But with the back and forth there, can't be mad about being on the losing end of that game.
No, I and Vapor, I'll go to you. I think if you're Seth, you accept it too, because you look at how this game has gone. He's been controlling everything under the sun. At a certain point, it's gotta break your way. And for Ashley, it finally broke, as she said, with the Draw City working out for once.
Yeah. I mean, to a point, that's how 5 has been used so far this tournament. 5-card start is not, hey, I'm going to go out and I'm going to win on 5 because I'm confident. It's, hey, I'm up 3-0, I'm up 2-0, I don't really have much to lose. Let's run 5. If I get lucky, I get lucky. If I lose, I can afford to drop a game. And
yeah, sure.
I think it's sound as a strategy, as a meta in this league so far. It doesn't give Ashley any sort of spark. And, create hope. Because, I mean, still has power play advantage.
That's true.
I mean, out of 2 more wins, all of a sudden it's game 7. And
that's true.
I mean, it only makes sense. It only makes statistical, logical sense for Seth to get nothing and Ashley to get something these next 2 games. So, I mean, we'll see how it goes, but I think that was a huge game for Ashley to win.
Well, champ, congratulations. You did just get your 100th series. Well, of course, we do the ceremonies here. There's only a couple people. You're the 4th member in this club, but I would say out of everybody that joined this club, you've been the fastest to do it, and here's your stats. You've been to, let's start it off, 5 medals and trophies, right? You got the trophy, and then another trophy from the regular season, and then Super League, of course. Trip second places, which were March Madness 24, of course, Aquatic April, and then March Madness 25. 4 finales, 4 Final Fours, 5 Elite Eights if you count the Super League 1, 4 Sweet 16s. If we count this game, with the H game, 19-5 career record, 174, 112 and 77 career record all time if you include Super League, 174 regular season starts, 192 all-time career starts, and a 58.24 win percentage, average starting seed, a 10.4, and a 9.52 average finishing position. Congratulations, Joy Samper, myself, and Yepez in the crew. I just want to know, obviously tonight's been tonight, right? You can't do much about tonight. But what it's like getting 100 career wins in this league, it's crazy that your journey has started from basically, playing poker in that practice game in the test session against Yo. Wish Yoshi the best as well. I know he had some issues today against Yoshi. To now a 100-time winner and probably the fastest one to do it, considering Sanford, myself, and Yepes were all here from the OG days, or in my case, the OG days. So, yeah, your thoughts on just getting 100 wins, though, if you want to say that, as we'll go around the room. I mean, Vapor, 100 wins in what? It's a year? That's pretty damn special. What else you can say? Anything else you want to add? That's the ceremony there.
Yeah, I mean, 100 wins in 6
In regular
tournaments.
season,
Well,
for sure.
including, is that just regular season, not including Super League?
100 regular season, 112 all time. Yep, including
Wow.
Super League.
That's winning games and winning them frequently and continuing to move on in tournaments. Like, that's incredible, and we're not going to see something like that for, until some new young gun comes along or new to the server and they just rattle off an insane year. That's incredible. Once in a lifetime here.
I mean, we'll go. Champ, your thoughts? As you said, 100's nice. I mean, I guess we'll go to Seth. Seth, your thoughts? I mean, you obviously have commentated Ashley. I think it's good to have you here at least because you've seen everything. You're starting to build league history. Thoughts on the champ getting to 100 before we move to Game 5?
Yeah, I mean, just to kind of piggyback off what Vapor says, to accumulate 100 victories shows that every matchup you're in, you're a dominable force. That you're going to more than likely take at least 3, if not 4, in a best of 7. You're going to take at least 4, if not 5, in a best of 9. I mean, when you head into a matchup and somebody's got those kind of statistics where the math shows that they're going to be a favorite in that matchup, if not the whole tournament overall, that's quite a resume to be able to build up. There's a reason that Ashley was the number 1 seed here in this region coming into this matchup, coming off that runner-up from March Madness here this year as well. I'll tell you, when I came into this matchup, it's kind of the same way as when I approached the matchup when I went up against UKT. It's the case that you don't as much look at the seeding, but you look at the resume. The stats don't lie, and so, obviously, as I've already alluded to, a lot of what's going on here in this series already with the wins I've been able to get have been luck-based, but just to be able to, if I lose this entire series, just to get 3 victories in a series here against Ashley, that's an accomplishment for me based off the resume she had coming into tonight.
Yeah, we'll go one more time. I guess Short, he's been helping out. Short, you want to say anything before we move on? You've been helping out a lot tonight. Appreciate that.
Congrats to Ashley, and I think we've all said what we needed to say about her many times, and we'll keep having these ceremonies, and we'll all say the same damn thing. Tremendous player, even if it's not going her way tonight, as we've seen. It's just crazy that in the last 14 months that he's done all this, as well as not playing an entire tournament last year. Like an entire tournament, not even on the record. That is also an accomplishment in itself to realize that is with one less tournament than other people in the running with the 100 club. Pretty spectacular, and definitely something to feel good about, even if it doesn't turn out the way in the series tonight for her. Congrats to her.
Absolutely, for sure. Well, we'll go to Game 5. I got Heat Check Guard here. Appreciate him joining in as well. Guess he can just say something and watch chat. We'll go back to Champ now. It's just going to be no 5, but we know you ain't going to do that. Free board here on that for sure. What do you got here, Champ? Yeah, absolutely. Can't do one without a full. You know what, Vapor? You got to respect it for sure. From the extremes to none to high.
I mean, Ashley, even though she won on luck-based start, it was really just draw city, draw back, and a number of fish there. Really getting back into her element and get a home turf. Hopefully for her, I mean, she wants a home turf win here. Doesn't want to go out 4-1, but 15's a good idea. It's a good idea.
It's her number. I mean, it's her league number. So
That's got to mean something, right?
Yeah, you never know. Oh God, Sanford. Oh man. Well, Sanford's currently enjoying a nice baseball game at Angel Stadium, so enjoying himself today. But no, now we'll go to the switching here. We'll see where the switching comes into play. Vapor. I think I'm very good at reading that. It's the one thing I still haven't lost is that reading. But I mean, Vapor. I think the switching has been the story today. When you don't have the cards, how do you try to win games? Switch ISO. It's the number one thing.
Mm-hmm. Little crossover. Get to your color, not to theirs.
Goes the yellow 6. Next, we'll go to trips down. We'll find out by a 3 action in the bow tie. There's the switch to gone. Oh, that's a classic.
Yep. The crossover.
Crossover bats. I love that play, man. It's classic play, right? Hope for the stall out. See if Seth's got anything in return. So that's it. That's his first wild, and he uses his own. That's always nice. Ashley can
Another
run.
crossover. Crossing up the crosser.
Step back Seth. That's what they call him. All right, let's see. Seth's going to run that green. Oh, ditto. Haven't seen many of those.
But
Ashley ready for that.
Wild sequence.
Yeah, classic 2 color, right? He's going to blink. Obviously, we can't go back to green on the 8. Well, you can go back. You did that, though.
Oh.
Wow, that is crazy.
Yeah. Wow, that's crazy composure for Seth right there. Sure. 2 wilds, using them relatively early, you doubt that. You say, well, am I going to need these later? And he says, you know what, I'm going to play both these wilds, and gets Ashley iced. That's a ballsy move, and it worked out.
It is. Sometimes that's what you gotta do to run it clean, though. For sure.
I mean, Seth, maybe that's a tell. Yellow. I want to be off of yellow.
Oh, it is a tell. So that's
oh wow.
Okay, so that gives Ashley 6 freshies, and Seth maybe gives her life. We'll see. Maybe talked about that spark earlier. We'll see what this entails. New color now into red. We haven't seen anything other than just the green, yellow, and a little bit of blue. So this opens up Pandora's for a second to DJ.
Ashley knows at this point, well, Seth doesn't want yellow and probably not likely to want green at this point. So we'll see where she goes with this. I mean, Seth with a 12-card advantage. A lot of options here.
Plenty of time. This is the classic take your time and think on this one.
Peter, stop, think.
Don't
want to make the wrong move.
Nah, man. You got to think about it now. You get this late into the series, you got to be textbook with the moves, and what a great time. Other than there's no. There we go. Power play is off for Seth, right? So you got all time in the world for sure.
I mean, +4. You can't be sure on any color here necessarily. So safe play. Give 4 cards. Draw back. Get to a color you want. Run this clean for a little bit, probably.
Run a little clean. That's what Ashley and Seth are going to do here. Let's see what Seth's got here. Well, he's out. Well, he's out, man.
That's what I was going to say. You get to a color that, hey, I'm comfortable with this, and if they draw, that's great for me because that means I can close the gap. Oh yeah, another crossover on the 8s.
That's the beauty of having so many cards. You can play with that number of fish. And Ashley's going to do that right here. Seth out. He'll respect that. There, yeah. Those ankles, man. Well, and there we go. Classic. Wait for Seth to make the switch, and called it.
The 8s, man.
8-ball, baby. Playing a little 8-ball.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 of the 8-8s gone so far.
Oh, 8-ball, man. Well, 8-ball pool. Well, we'll see. We'll see if we'll see who's solid in stripes at the end of this thing as we go into the Allen 9. We'll shout out. I guess we'll shout out Alan a little bit. He's got a Grimland event. We shouted out Brad with his Brad battles. We go into the yellow, so that's been going pretty well so far.
That'll be a fun one for sure. I'm participating there. That's gonna be a good one.
Yeah, the old vintage special out there. As we go into a half off special, here comes Ashley +2 in return. Fair turnaround, fair play. Okay.
Scoreboard flipper.
Little scoreboard flipper, yeah. Well, do you know what they say, Ashley? We call her a dolphin, right? So there's Flipper a dolphin back in action.
Kind of a goofy connection, but we'll take that.
We'll take it. Seth's gonna go for a double play into red. Here comes Ashley.
Don't want to get too far behind. Another +4.
Oh, here we go. All of a sudden, here we go.
Turning.
This whiplash theory. The whiplash is back. Here comes Ashley looking for the finish to get this to a game 6. Vapor, you might be onto something with that theory. I mean, you can take your time, right? You really don't have to worry about no power play, right? Yep, that's true. I mean, the fire's back now, Ashley. You got everything, nothing. You got nothing, now you got everything all of a sudden. I do have to ask, though, was that off the +6 from Seth? And that's really what controlled that game, though, because... Wow, so really nothing. Seth mistimed the +2s. Wow, that's crazy. Talk me through that one. So we got both +4s from that +2. Yeah, that can happen sometimes, and I'll go to Seth here. Good win there, champ. Seth, I mean, you had talked about this too, trying to control that ammo, right? Control the save. Got caught on the +2s. What was the theory behind it? Did you have some monster hand you were building, but ultimately you just mistimed it and could have played a little more conservative?
I did have a monster hand. If I went back and did it again, I still would have played those +2s because I had another +2 and a +4 to be able to work with late in the game. It was just, we always talk about timing. I mistimed one play too late. I could have played the +4 one turn earlier, and it probably would have changed up a little bit of what was going on here. Yeah, I mean, normally when we end up getting down to about 5-6 cards, I'm prepared for a finish. I wasn't ready for a 7-card finish there at the end, but yeah, the ammo that I used at the time I used it, I think was good because I did have something else to counter if we ended up getting close down to the end. I just wasn't ready for a 7-card finish, so great job by her. Unfortunately, yeah, the ammo kind of came back to bite me with the +2s, but it's just a timing thing. Just a time thing. Just one turn too late.
Right. Appreciate those comments, man. And you heard it there first, Vapor, right? It was just all about the timing, and for Ashley, just sat back and waited for Seth to play some +2s, and boom, there we go, right? And that's sometimes how the cookie crumbles, and you might have been onto something taking it to 6. You got that, checked that off. We got it to 6 games. Thoughts on that? Now she fought back, and you just heard right there, one misplay from Seth, or else this could have been game.
Seth, he said, could have played the Wild +4 one turn earlier, but you really prepared for a 7-card finish? Not really. So do you think we could really blame Seth for dropping that one with the kind of hand Ashley had there? As I said, law of averages, it's always going to come back to, every player is going to get their chance. And, Ashley survived in game 5. And as I said, if she can win that game, she'll take it to 6 or 7. And definitely getting her opportunity there with the ammo. And will that continue? I don't know. We'll have to find out.
We'll go to game 6 now. Appreciate those thoughts, Vapor. Seth, it's your call, man. Same thing as earlier. 7, 12, 13. Free off the board. Everything else good.
Go 10.
We'll go 5 fingers up. Well, actually, it's perfect. 5, 15, 10. We're splitting it in half there. Going extremes. We'll find this middle extreme.
Little mid-tier action.
Yeah, mid-tier action. Reminder, after this... Yeah, go for it, Vapor.
That's what we've yet to see so far. What were you saying?
Now, reminder, 2 more games after this, of course, 8 and 8:30. Those will be non-streams, though. Next stream will be a massive one, Caesar background. We all know Caesar's stream is, that always goes hard.
Background's one of the top, newcomers to D1 here. And Caesar, obviously, long-tenured guy.
Oh, yeah.
Been here forever. Been helping with the server forever at the league. Gonna be fun. Basically, new face versus old face.
We'll change into the guards there as we wait for Seth here making a potential switch. Let's see.
You think Ashley considers using the power play in this game?
Well, hold the phone here, Vapor. That is a intriguing one there. Leaving it open early.
Yeah.
Power play? You know what? Ashley doesn't have to worry about 4 command chains anymore. Think about it. With no power play from Seth, she can just take her time and really utilize that whenever as we go into yellow, set Drew back on the reverse. Interesting.
You think she'd rather have a game 7, with the power play advantage, or just focus on winning this game and, go into game 7 saying, hey, I can outskill this guy and get the job done there?
Normally I would say yes as Seth continues in the light switch, but the thing is, right, when you got, of course, that last game got some, but it was an ammo return. It wasn't so much off the starter as we go into Trips 8 there. A lot of 8s going wild today. That is a big trend. Sure. I don't know. I think I was still focused on just trying to win, but at a certain point, if you sense a run, use it in defense, right? And then if you think you can just win bare claw knuckles, then you go for the game 7. No, there's her own card. So here we go.
Crossover. Seth wants red.
And Ashley's own card. Yeah, let's see. Let's see what she's got. Oh, there's Katie.
Oh, yeah.
Well, there's the classic. The wild duel.
Put over again. The 8s and the wilds. Just like last game. Ross, that's round of applause.
Yeah, and we did say I had this up in the billing. The wild flushes could become a very, very, very important thing in this series, and it's living up to the billing for sure. Seth had switched off the green earlier, though. That is something to keep in mind.
Yeah. Ashley with 3. Seth with 7. Seth, got to play a little defense here.
Does he have an end around play, or what does he got? Let's see.
I wouldn't be surprised if he had an end around play. Yeah.
Well, you got it with the same kind of move earlier, the +2s, and now it's going to depend on what in return. I think that's the $1 million thing, right? What's in return?
I mean, it would only be fitting for it to happen again, right? You throw the double +2s as a defensive play, no problems there, but what does that give your opponent? I mean, we haven't seen yellow since, Seth went to red. We really haven't had any yellow at all. This is effectively Pandora's.
Yeah, I'm just looking at this, Vapor. I still think the old stats book, right? A little bit misleading. I would say misleading, right? Because remember, she hadn't played an action card until what, game 4?
Oh, yeah. All her crap came in one game, right?
Yeah. So
well, I mean, if this does go 7, or, even ends here, it doesn't paint the picture of the first 3 games, but it definitely paints the picture of the second 2 after that.
Seth's going to make a player. Plays it cool.
Yeah, self-ditto.
Oh, yeah, self-ditto.
So I feel like he had the yellow 4 stacked, whatever Ashley played, he had that yellow 4 pre-typed, ready to go. Ready like Little Caesars.
Caesars. We talk about the cell plays and sometimes the playing a little bit more of a pre-type. I think Tago says something about that where he'll just play something and he'll pre-type it. Where I think it was against your game. He explained it very well, and some type of mind game for sure. We hadn't seen much of that, but
it's kind of a thing of his game. You've played him a million times, but he pre-types and it just pre-types nothing, basically just a couple letters, and it just if he has someone loaded up, you're always on your toes, and I think Seth was going yellow 4 no matter what Ashley played there. She tried to switch into a different color, which is kind of a boss move to play that yellow 4 off the yellow +2. Keep it yellow. It's kind of a really good move there.
Comes Ashley taking her time. There's the old Peter Piper picked a pack of pickled peppers on the stop. Thanks, stop, whatever you like to call it. Austin Rogers weighing on it. Ashley taking her time here, the usual. And, well, there's another +4. Little double play right there. Got the leader. Into the old Camaro from the Abion +4. Here comes Seth. Let's see what he got. I mean, I think if you're Seth here now, you kind of take that one. You threw a lot of that ammo out there. You dished up what +6 in return, right? You got to talk about the timing, Vapor, and sometimes the timing is everything in this league and this series. When you time those action cards and you make a mistake, sometimes it can get in your head. I think Seth's got to play it clean here and still continue to try what he can. Yep.
I don't think there was any issues with when he played the double +2, the +6. I don't think there's any issues with that. He saw a run coming and he stifled that how he could. Played out of it how he could, but yes, she just split ammoing the frick out of him right now. So
yeah, that's all CH. It's all CH strats, right? The old Chomik strats. We know that Allen as well, Chomik, Allen, the two. I'd say biggest proponents of the SA strats, the split ammos.
Double plays out the wazoo.
Yep, split ammos and really just hope and pray, right? Sometimes that's what split ammo is. You hope and pray that the split ammo comes in return. Seth goes for the +4, so that's a neutralizer.
Good defense.
Yeah, good D. Now you know what? Sometimes play that defense in a Chomik, ironically, and see where it is in return as we'll continue to play it cool here. Interesting though, so into red. That's what he wanted earlier in that wild.
Yeah. Whole times this series.
What's that? Maybe I'm sorry.
We've switched a whole bunch of times this series.
Oh yeah.
Almost 30 combined, 60 combined between the two. So yeah, if anything's the story of this game, it's one, switching the colors, and two, averages and luck. As we're really getting down into the nitty gritty here, 2-2. What does Seth have?
Seth, nothing. Here comes Ashley. So you have check. This should be something. No, so they both. So I gotta think that red wild earlier, Vapor. That was because it had been so far back. I think you just don't know what they had because earlier that wild sequence was great, but you just didn't know what they had in return for sure. Hard to read.
Yeah. You want to get to your color, and unfortunate they iced you back out.
Well, here comes Ashley though to green.
Is this something? Yes. That game 7.
I mean,
no one could have seen this coming.
No, I mean, dead in the water, right? Let's not forget this is champ. I mean, whatever happens here, this has to be one of those crazy. You got the power play too. How did you get that win there? Was that a case of biding your time, or was it a case of maybe that +6 from Seth earlier gave you a little bit more of a lock there? Maybe the wilds and patience. Yeah, I was gonna say. So patience, right? Run it down. I think that wild flush though, what it did is it really put Seth in a little bind. Seth, you went aggressive, man. I mean, you had the red wild, then you threw over, a little bit more on the end around play, which I thought was great with the +2s. Did you have another solid hand though? And the +2s was a case I don't regret it because my hand was I had a wild in there. +2s. Was it a similar story to Game 5? Very similar metas here. Very unusual.
Not the same as Game 5, really.
Okay.
At least in Game 5, I had more ammo cards afterwards. Using the ammo when I did, I only had numbers. The unfortunate thing was I was kind of stuck to having to really use the ammo cards. If I had possession, if I had even a card possession, then I would have felt a little bit more comfortable of drawing, not having to use the ammo then. But I was kind of boxed in. We were running in the green. All I had was the green +2. So it was a question of, do I utilize it to get over to another color now? Do I take and be another couple of cards behind in terms of possession? Had to kind of balance out that whole idea there. I mean, got lucky with the fact that when we got down to 2 cards each, we got into a little bit of a draw city, but we keep seeing a lot of times here in this tournament, and just even in this round of the tournament alone, where that top deck draw sometimes gets you that one card you need to be able to chain together, and that's what she was able to get. So I tried working on the number efficiency there at the end, but had 3 colors. There was no way I was going to be able to find a finish without a good action card. If we had gone into a longer drawn city there, maybe might have gotten it, but basically when I used the ammo was when I had to use the ammo. Otherwise, I might have done something different if the scenario was just a little bit different.
I mean, we'll go to Vape. Appreciate those words, Seth. Thoughts on this comeback, man? I mean, it's like I said, the first 3 games I was out of words, and now it's been a series where I think if Ashley doesn't stay patient and ammo returns don't go in her way, she's probably done. I think it's just more staying patient. Seth's not doing much wrong. He had the hand in game 5, and you were right. The fire is starting to spark a little higher now for sure.
Yeah, this fire is definitely burning. Seth didn't play a terrible game. He didn't play a bad game at all. Pretty sound Uno, but Ashley's the world champ for a reason. Made it got 3 second place, silver medals, and Super League title. And you can never counter out. Down 3-0, just storms back, and we've got a ridiculous, unlikely Game 7.
I'll go to short here real quick, man. Have you ever seen something? I've never seen a series where we were shut out of questions and what the hell's happening to. It just got real in a second.
The answer is no. We have not. But can you expect anything less when the champ is on the table? No lead is safe, even in this scenario. Like, we talked about last night with Nick and Peter about how this is, like, 80% of the league would have lost that long game in way less time than he did. Well, I would say 99% of the league would have lost this series in 4 or 5. But Ashley does what she does, and here she is on the brink of reverse sweeping when nobody thought it was possible. Didn't have an action card until game 3. Just insane. Or game 4, I think. Right? Yeah.
Yeah, just scrolling back. It was game 4. Yeah, it's just bonkers, man. I don't know what to think. Well, we'll go into game 7. Who would have thought? Only the second game 7, but no one had this one coming. Champ, all you on the call? What do we got here? No 5, 10, 15. That's kind of funny. All right, we'll go to Double OG for the game 7. Here we go. Only the second. Wow, that's crazy. That's a double Gerard +2 this series, Vapor.
Another G.
Yeah, G took care of business against AR44 in a classic game that probably should have went 7.
That should have gone 7.
Yeah, some unfortunate rules just unfortunate mistiming on the rules from AR. But we'll see now.
Misinterpretation of the rule.
Yeah.
And
go for it.
Even if Seth does lose this game, we still got to give him his flowers for getting those first 3. I mean, even though he had the ammo, like you said, a lot of the league probably isn't even going to get 3 wins. Even if you have all that ammo advantage, you're going to get iced or something against any of the top tier players in that first tier of Super League. So you give him his flowers for getting the job done in the first 3 games, but you got to, if you're Seth, really feel disappointed if you don't get this one done here.
Yeah, he's going to try to lock in. I think Seth he's got to work on that timing, and I think that's the thing, Vapor. Right, the last 2 games it gets in your head. Why play it with 8 cards? You got to know how to use that timing right. So I think that's what he's going to work on. For Ashley, it's just, as you said with the fire theory, keep that spark high, and you got the power play too. That's the beauty of it. You don't know. Sometimes you don't know when you save it and when to use it. She could have used it in game 4 just to prevent something, and now here we are in game 7. At least has it, and Seth will draw into the night 7, and Ashley will draw. So we'll go right back in tune and step. We'll topper into Zach. Was the champ guy here? Maybe, nope, just going to draw back now. Maybe see if Seth switches. Let's see. He will into the green deuce.
That's a long run in one color. That's a lot of red.
Now I'm getting shades of what was that, game 2? Just
yeah,
a lot of long run colors. Right? That's what we've been seeing lately.
Running it clean and then switching off when your eyes or when you need a new color. A little change of pace, little refreshment.
These 8s.
And in game 2, that came down to an ammo finish. You ran the colors, ran them until you couldn't run them no more. back to red, and then you had the ammo at the end. So, are we going to see a repeat of that?
Ashley gets the Ashley thrown card back at her. Seth throws it over. Let's see what Ashley's got to return.
I think she'll cross it back into a different color. Yeah.
Great move. Yeah, great read on that one. And that's an end around play. Classic.
Yeah, I don't think she wanted to draw anymore. And I don't think she even picked up that red reverse from any of those draws in red. I think she had that holding as a fail safe.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right on that one, Seth. It's Vapor. It's just sometimes you see a wild card, and for Seth, he throws it out there. There's one option. If you don't have anything special, play the end around, right? That's what we all have. We all know that move well. We all know that move well and loved for sure.
Yeah. You don't want to throw the ammo too early, but you also don't want to draw too early. So it's playing, which do you value more? Do you want to save the ammo for later, or do you want to save your pace in your game? And the value is pace, and we'll see, does this affect how the finish ends, how this game actually ends.
Seth going for a classic ditto. There's the yellow.
Another switch out.
That's where, we had the yellow-red 6 combo.
A third of the cards played have been switches.
Good stat there.
Brown.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you look at the stats, what are we at? 64 apiece on the switches, so 32 apiece, 64 total. It's pretty up there.
Yeah, I mean, 210 cards played, 65-ish times switched. Yeah, that's almost perfectly 1/3. So, does that...
Oh, boy.
Oh, whoa, what's happening?
Oh, stops it with the power play. Great move. Well, that's okay. It automatically does it, Seth. You're good. Ash's turn, though.
You think he was trying to draw on that in the first place?
Was he flushing the power play?
Maybe.
Because I don't know if that draw was necessarily him trying to. I don't think he was trying to comply with the power play. He might have had nothing on the back end of that. But we'll have to see how it plays out.
And
I'll write that note.
We'll ask that after, but if that is a power play flush, that is one of the more ridiculous power play flushes I've seen this tournament so far.
You gotta do it though, because you never know. You see a run. I don't blame her making that. I don't blame Seth if he tries a little mind game. You just gotta do it.
Yeah, no. There's no judgment there on either end for, if he's flushing it, that's a great move. The DPP also a great move. You can never be too safe in Game 7, and I will play, the rest of this game, no power play, straight clean. And this is where Ashley thrives, right? Pressure situation, no power play. Comes down to it. Clawed back so hard. And Seth looking to get one back.
Let's see what she does here as the yellow 0 sugars played into a good old drip. We'll see what happens.
I was not expecting this series to go 7.
No, we were ready to jet.
Yeah, 5 or 6 made sense to me, but wow.
I was ready to get some dinner, man.
I think you're gonna have to delay that game, man. With
I already did.
Yeah, with Cody Smart.
I already called it, man. I already called it.
Classic.
No shade to the champ, though. This is something to watch. I don't care.
Absolutely.
This is top level stuff. Little stop think for a minute or so here. What do you want to do off this yellow 0? Because he played red wild +4, red skip, wild blue. Oh, you wonder if that was a legitimate run to the finish. Where was he going with that? Because he has the card that he drew, but did he pull off the power play? But did he play that? What's the situation looking like for the rest of his hand? Because the residual from the finish that he might have had earlier still there.
Plus 4 for Seth. Okay.
I think this is game.
It's game. It's got to be.
It's either that or just a crazy
There's no way
defense.
it's not.
I don't think he's holding that. He's up. There's
no.
It was.
Yeah, it's not defense if he's up that much. No way.
It was residual from earlier. Yeah. Can I ask that? Yeah, Seth, was that run there, the +4, +2s, yellow 3, was that residual from what you were holding earlier when she power played?
So Short had it right. I was trying to draw out the power play. The Uno draw I played was I had no red. I just tried to get it back to the red. When the power play was hit and I had to draw a card, I drew the red +2. And that got me the chain that I needed.
Wow.
Okay.
That's
interesting. So if you would have drawn, then it wouldn't have mattered, right? The red +2 would have happened either way, right?
Correct.
Oh wow. That's something, man. We have seen those lucky +2s and lucky +4 bailouts. Yeah, it sounds like it for sure. I mean, if that's what Seth... So, Seth, I mean, how
Well,
did you...
not necessarily. I think that if Ashley still had the power play, if she hadn't used it there, I think it would have potentially... she might have had something to swap over to a color that I might have needed. Because remember, the power play was played when I still had number in yellow, or 2 numbers in yellow. So there was a possibility if there had been a color swap and I wasn't able to get it over there. I could have been stuck with a yellow card just trying to rely on number efficiency at the end. So the power play played when it was, I think, made a difference. It could have been different if it was played even just a turn later.
Yeah, I mean, the power play especially, I mean, with that, I think an underrated aspect of the power play is you're drawing a card. That card could be like a blue 7 or something that could completely derail your finish. It's the power play not just as a tool to win or as a tool for defense. You know, it could just be used as a tool to give you straight junk, right? And I think Seth got a little bit lucky that the power play didn't give him straight junk.
I'll go to you. Yeah, a lot lucky. I'll come back to you, Seth. Ash, I mean, considering where this series was headed to, it was looking pretty grim, right? No offense to grim, it was looking pretty grim. How did you fight back, all things considered? Because this was going to be a, I don't know, maybe a 20-minute game, and you got it out to 50 minutes, and despite losing, I mean, did you at least get enough reps knowing, hey, you know what? I took it as far as I could, right? Had a good march, come back fresher for T3. Yeah, I think that's very possible. I think that...
The bot nerfed you. Congratulations, you've been nerfed.
Guess so. But chat, that's really all I got. I know you got a lot going on. Thanks for coming out. Seth, back to you now. Got Ed next. That's a completely different ball game. How do you try to, I guess, reconvene a little bit with this series and then apply it to Ed, who's a completely different player?
Yeah, I mean, like I said before we started this series, I've tried to adapt a little bit with what I've seen has worked for other players. I applied most of it in these games. A couple of games I wasn't able really to apply any because, you know, the ammo distribution was lopsided. She had a lot more ammo cards in a couple of those games than I did. So, you know, you're just trying to do number efficiency and play defense in that case. But yeah, you know, with a lot of the different things that I did back, especially in games 1 and 2, and then here in this final game as well, just trying to apply all of that. You know, the tough thing for me is I can easily say, you know, tips and tricks and advice when I'm a broadcaster, and then the player in me is like, you should just listen to your own advice, right? So I try to do that here, and when I face off against Ed, I'll try and do the exact same thing. I don't know. Ed better gear up because I guess in this tournament, if you're playing me, you're destined to go into a game 7 because it's been with me in Retro and it was me with Ashley. So these long drawn out games, they are exciting. They're a lot of fun to be a part of, and looking forward to the next one.
All right. Well, we'll go to Vapor for the final words here. I mean, Vapor, it's I'll get that on Geo on their end. Vapor, I think this was a case of resiliency from the champ day. Maybe I think I can agree to that in a sense. Maybe just one action card, it could turn tide, but I think Seth avoids what could have been an insane reverse sweep, to say the least. Thoughts on this crazy? Like I said, I was ready to pack my bags and go home in Game 4 and maybe get something. I mean, I had them packed right here, and we somehow got 7. And only the champ and a couple people can do that for sure. Thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, it was a windy day. Games
yeah.
1, 2, and 3. Wind was blowing everywhere. Ashley couldn't get the spark, but Game 4 there at the end, lighter hit. Got a little bit of that, tinder that they got there. Get a little bit of flame going, and then the wind blew the fire around. It got big. It almost got a wildfire. The California coast was praying that they'd live. But Seth brought a jet plane full of water and doused it there in Game 7. And I think that was one of the more impressive saves that we've seen this season.
I would say so myself, and we'll go to the bracket here and schedule. Well, it's going to be Edward versus Seth. Seth will now be the home team. Crazy to say that. It's insane to think in this region, 9-13. We lost half the 1 seed. Yapet's still remaining. Champ will reconvene for late April, May. And for Seth, he'll keep moving forward. 2 more games to go, though, and it's going to be Lane, Logan, Lane now. The last 2 seed remain. Who would have thought that as well? And looks to make his break tonight to get his 5th win on the year. And then the other game, which is more of an opportunity central, Carson Andy. That'll be an intriguing game as well. For myself and Vapor and Not Sure, appreciate you guys coming out here. For Seth and Ashley, thank you guys for coming. Seth will leave a quote at the bottom. That's it for the stream games for the boss. That's it for me, actually, for real. I forgot about that because tomorrow Seth's going to take over for Caesar Background, and I play tomorrow night in the round finale, so we'll see me a little bit later. But for Seth, myself, Not Short, Vapor, and the rest of the crew, thank you guys for coming out. We'll see you back here with Seth and myself. Do a little bit of some commentary and split on the stream with Caesar Background. Give me a good one, 1 o'clock Eastern. Stay tuned. Good night, everybody. This has been a presentation of MRE Uno Division 1.